Hi friends, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Julia and I'm the creator of Made by Tasman. I own a crochet Etsy shop and I'm also a dancer. Yeah, so today I'm going to be showing you everything I crocheted in 2025. Well, almost everything I crocheted in 2025 because some things I didn't take photos of. First, we're going to start with the stats. How many things do you think I crocheted in 2025? Drop it down. I'm going to give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I hope you dropped your answer in the bottom. The number of things I crocheted is at least 62 items. I have for sure 62 items that I've crocheted that I have photos of, but I know I crocheted a few more things than that because in the beginning of 2025 I was doing orders for people I knew and I wasn't taking photos of all of those. Those were like hats and scarves mostly. But let's get into everything I crocheted in 2025. We're gonna go in chronological order. I don't have everything with me, so I'm gonna be popping pictures up here on the screen and let's get started. All right, starting off strong with this beautiful red beanie. I made one of my friends a red scarf with this yarn. We tried to make it in 2 days for her right before New Year's. I had this left over. I made this really adorable hat with that. It's like a variegated yarn. Next, I made my first amigurumi ever, maybe? This donut, it turned out so cute. I made it for my friend who loves jelly cats. Next, you can see the donut again, but I made this little pink cat with a bow for another friend. I hope she still enjoys it. Next, I made this light brown. It's not the dark brown color I have, but this brown scarf. It turned out really cute. I just did ribbing all the way down. This was for an order, so I did a matching scarf that went with the oversized size hat in dark brown, and then in the same order was this beautiful mustard colored hat, ribbed beanie, and then a matching scarf, as you can see in the next photo. Then for Valentine's Day / my girlfriend and I's anniversary, I made her this bouquet of flowers. It was kind of to represent the flowers I gave her on our second date, so this was really special. I don't plan to recreate this bouquet for anyone else. Then I made this dark brown bucket hat. It's super cute and actually really warm. And just so you know, most of these things are on my shop if you're interested in them. And if they're not in my shop, just drop it in the comments below that you're interested in and I'll probably add it up on my Etsy. Next is not a picture of a finished project, but I did not have a photo of the finished project. This was my first wearable that I ever made. It was this beautiful variegated yarn and I made the Vera top by Cameron Kane, and it was in this colorway. I did have to do a few edits because it was my first wearable. To the back it kind of overlapped, but it turned out really cute and I was super proud. By the way, this is my first full year of crocheting. I started crocheting in like November 2024. So 2025 was my first full year of crocheting, so this is everything I made in my first year as a crocheter. Next, we just have this super simple plain black hat in the regular size. Then my friend requested this tank top. I can't remember which pattern it is. I think it was by Viv Crochets, but it was just a broad cut pattern and then it had the cross or knot stitch, I think, for the mesh below, and then it tied. Next is one of my proudest creations I made. It's like a really popular pattern as a sweater. I watched Cameron Kane's tutorial, I think, to make this flower sweater, but I just did it without the sleeves, so it's a flower tank. It turned out really cute. I made it with Caron Cake's yarn. This was a project for me. I love it so much. It's so adorable. Definitely wore it a few times in the summer. Next, I made this custom top for my friend Grace, who you'll see a lot in here. But I believe I kind of came up with my own design. This was somewhat free-handed. The back ended up crossing over, as you can see in the photo. Not on purpose, but it just happened and it turned out really cute. I really like that overlapping style with the bow. And then the front had a pinch and then some mesh. Next, I don't have a super good photo of this, but I made this really cute Coraline style shrug for another one of my friends, I really wanted to try out making Coraline style crochet things, and she really loves Coraline, so I made this for her for free. But this was my first time using more of a bulky weight yarn, and it took a long time, but I was very proud of this project. Next, I make what I call the Appa bag because it reminds me of Appa from Avatar: The Last Airbender. This actually is a pattern by Crochets here on YouTube, and it's a textured bag pattern, but I made it a bit smaller so it's a purse style. This turned out so beautiful and I'm really proud of it. My first bag, I believe. Next, I kind of watched a tutorial, kind of rehanded this asymmetrical off the shoulder tank in this beautiful variegated yarn. This is actually Loops and Threads Ombre Pink, which you'll also see me use for my pigs later. But I made this for my friend's birthday. Next, we are in our little scrunchie era. So this is the first scrunchie I ever made, and I think you can tell. I made it with a leftover plush yarn from a blanket I made my roommate in December 2024. Then we moved on and I got better quickly. I used up the rest of this pink and gray variegated yarn from that Vera top that I made Cameron Kane's pattern, but I had leftover yarn and I made 3 pink/gray scrunchies with that. Then I made one scrunchie that was two-toned using leftover mustard yarn and green yarn, and they turned out so cute. Here are some photos of them in my hair so you can see how they look styled and worn. Then I made my own bandana. This bandana was from the same yarn that I made my flower tank out of, so it matches it, and it has like the picot design at the end, and it turned out really cute. It's definitely in one of my early small business vlogs if you want to see the full view of the bandana and the process of making it. Next, one of my friends actually bought the flower tank from my shop, and that made me really happy. She bought it in blue because that's her favorite color, and this was around the time when I opened my Etsy shop in the summer. I think it was in June or July. Then I made a pig for the first time because my friend ordered the flower shirt. I wanted to make her a freebie pig because she loves pigs, so I made her a pig. Then someone on my YouTube actually commented and asked if I could make an elephant, and they had this leftover purple yarn from something, so I decided to make an elephant. And at this point I was not happy with amigurumi. This was like my first time working with it. It annoyed me, but this turned out so cute, and it's been on my Etsy since the summer and it still does not have a home. This elephant is so cute, so if you love it as much as I do, please check it out. Next, I made another scrunchie finishing up that ombre pink yarn, and I also used this scrunchie as a freebie. Then I made my friend Abby the tulip tote bag. This is one of my most proud creations. I followed the tulip tote bag tutorial from YouTube, and then my mom helped me sew in buttons onto the bag and buttonholes into a tote bag, so it came with a removable lining. However, I made 2 more of these bags throughout the year, and I do not have the same sewing skills as my mom, so I had to kind of come up with different ways to add that removable lining in, but hopefully soon I will be continuing my sewing journey, as you might have saw in one of my Vlogmas videos, continuing my sewing journey and learning how to make buttonholes so I can make all of my bag linings like this one. Next, one of my friends named Josie asked me to crochet her a granny square flower bandana, and it turned out so cute. It looks so good on her. Then I don't have a full photo of this shirt because I wasn't super happy with how it turned out, but I believe this pattern was from Tamari's World, and I made this cropped yellow tank for my girlfriend, but it ended up being longer than the photo. Next, I made this beauty that I'm wearing right now. I was inspired by someone on Instagram in just a sweater that they were wearing in the color palette, so this is it in all its glory. After I steamed it, and it ended out a little wide, but I have this also listed on my shop if you're interested. I think the colorway turned out so cute and I love it. Next, I made my first lace-up tank. This is by, I can't remember who made this pattern, but they have a paid pattern with a lace-up back. And at this point, I wasn't really into reading patterns. I was into watching YouTube videos. So I found the free YouTube video. And in the YouTube video, she does the front and the back kind of the same without the lace-up back. So I decided to use the front and freehand the lace-up back. And this is how it came out. And I'm actually really happy with the color blocking. I made this for my friend. It was a custom request because she wanted to wear it to a festival, and it turned out super cute, and it ended up being pretty popular, and 200 people bought it throughout the year. Next, I made these cute little wrap skirt swimsuit cover-ups for my girlfriend and I freehanded both of them. I made them with bamboo yarn for the first time when I learned bamboo yarn is really heavy, but it's really silky. But I think if I made this again, I would definitely use cotton or a lighter weight yarn. Then I made another pig for an order. Next, I made these super cute crochet shorts. They're kind of a micro short. They do cover everything. They turned out really cute. I followed a tutorial on YouTube, and then I did a picot stitch at the end. And I love wearing these as a ballet warm-up or just like lounging in my house. Let me know if you want to have me start adding these on my shop. They're kind of hard to size, but I've been doing my wearables mostly based on measurements anyway, so this could be cool. Then I made my friend Grace 2 gifts because she was moving away from where I live. I made her a Stanley Cup holder because she's always carrying way too much stuff, and you can see it in the picture. It has a hole for the handle, but the Stanley Cup didn't have a handle in the photo. Then I made her a little coffee cup holder because she always drinks iced coffee, and I made it with a snowflake for Nutcracker season. Then I tried to make this pumpkin pencil case pouch for the fall time. It turned out looking more like peaches. I was using some thrifted yarn I found for this, and I started on making the lining, and I was hand sewing this lining, and I accidentally made it too small and never finished the lining, but the bag is technically finished. Next, I made another one of these textured bags by Kenningside Crochets, and I made my own handles for both of the bags. Did not follow the tutorial for either of the bags, but this just was not my best work. It's just sitting in a pile because I don't like it, and yeah. Next, I made another one of these lace-up back tops. My friend Grace actually ordered this one when there's a discount going on my shop, and it looks so cute on here. Here's the back so you can see it on someone. Then another one of my friends ordered something without me knowing. I just got the order, it popped up, and she ordered the tulip tote bag and the lace-up back shirt, and then I gave her a freebie scrunchie. Then I was like, it's time for me to try out the cat ear beanies. I love Tiani Asada. She is the one who inspired me to start my YouTube, I think. And yeah, I've been so inspired by her as I started my crochet journey. So I had to make a cat ear beanie. And this one is striped with oatmeal and black, and it's so cute. But it turned out a little too big for me. So it's also my shop. I also have stuff on Depop. More of them already made crochet things. Then I made my first ballet wrap. This pattern is actually a pattern by the Fiber Spider here on YouTube. It's the Iris shawl, and then I freehanded ties on to make it wrap around, and I made it a little smaller. But I'm gonna keep playing with this design in the new year because I want to try to give more coverage in the front area because I know dancers also like that as well. So I'm gonna be playing around with this pattern and seeing if I can freehand my own things onto this to make it more versatile. The first one I made was in the oatmeal color. The next one I made was in a light pink. Then I had some leftover color changing ombre loops and threads pink yarn, and I made a little ear warmer slash headband with like one of those little twists in the front, and it turned out really cute. I like it. Next, I got an order for a tulip tote bag and the ballet wrap in pink. And then I gave them a freebie snowflake. But I just had all my pink things lined up on the floor because I thought they looked so pretty. Yep, here's the snowflake. It turned out really cute. And I made another pig, honestly, just for fun. Because I wanted to make a project that was shorter and I could finish in a day. And I put the eyes further apart and I think they turned out so cute. This one is actually still in stock and it just sits on my little stand and it looks so cute. Next, someone commissioned me to make this little balaclava situation with the bright green and dark gray yarn. And I followed the hooded, it's like a turtleneck hood pattern on YouTube. I forgot the name of the creator, but I followed her pattern. Then another one of my friends ordered the ballet wrap in dark gray. And then another one of my friends ordered a scarf for her sister for Christmas. And she asked for this custom color, custom design. So she wanted horizontal stripes with pink and red. And I chose the pink and red. That would go together well, and it turned out really adorable. I was obsessed with this colorway, and for my last project of 2025, I made a little book sleeve using that as well. That is everything I made in 2025, or almost everything I made in 2025. I'm really proud. I didn't know I made at least 62 items. I was crocheting the whole year, but yeah. As you can tell, I'm smiling because I love crocheting and I'm so happy that I found a passion for it. And I also have this space on my platform to talk about it and share my love for it with all of you guys. We're gonna actually go through some more stats now that we've made it to the end. I counted up how many of each category I had, so we're just gonna round that up. Alright, so we're gonna start with items that I only made one thing with. So I made one donut, one elephant, these aren't in order, one balaclava, one headband, one snowflake, one pair of shorts, 2 swim cover-ups, 2 drink carriers, and 2 bandanas, 2 pigs, at least 3 scarves, maybe more because that was the time when I was making orders and not taking photos of them all, belly wraps. Next, I made 6 bags the whole year, 6 scrunchies, at least 7 hats, 7 flowers, and I made 12 tops. The most items I made was tops. And tops included these, the tank tops, and I included the bolero in the top section. So that was kind of crazy to see that my most made item was tops, because tops take a lot of time to make. But I hope I got all of those numbers correct. But that was a roundup of everything I made in 2025. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did. It's just making me smile. I feel so proud of all the things I made and how much joy crochet has brought me. And I love connecting with everyone so far in the crochet community. Everyone is so sweet. So thank you so much for all your support and watching this video. It means so much to me. If you've made it this far, comment your favorite emoji or the yarn emoji, because we crochet around here. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye friends.